We are ready to begin. Good evening and welcome to the regularly scheduled Tuesday, April 16th, 2024 council meeting. I would like to take just a brief moment to introduce our council that is with us this evening. We have Councilmember Fernandez, Councilmember Bennett Lublin, Councilmember Casey Ambrose, Councilmember John Osnick, Councilmember Tamara Locke, and Mayor Pro Tem Woods. We also have Mayor Ackley. I would now like to turn the meeting over to you, please. And if you are attending virtually, please just state the city and state you're attending from, and we will begin our meeting.
Okay, we'll begin the meeting. Welcome to the council meeting. If you could all please rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and if we could have Councilman Lublin please do the invocation.
Dear God, we ask you to preside over this meeting tonight. Help us to act as a unified team to open our hearts and make fair and just decisions that improve our community. Also, may we come together as a whole with the courage and strength to show kindness and compassion as we collectively work towards the betterment of humanity. Amen.
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 Okay, roll call, please.
Ackley.
Here, Elkota County, Michigan.
Thank you. Ambrose.
Here.
Fernandez.
Here.
Locke.
Here.
Lublin.
Here.
Osnick.
Here.
Woods.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, any requests for agenda changes?
Mr. Chairman, I have a request, unexpected request. We have many of our retirees who are present, and I would like the council to entertain each one of them's comments, if necessary, to even waive the 3-minute rule. At this point, you may not take more than that, but I've already met with them outside, some of them, so we're going to be meeting in the future, very near future. But I think you should hear everything they got to say and waive the 3-minute rule if somebody wants to go 5 or 10 or whatever. So that's the only agenda chain I got.
I have one agenda change.
Should we put that at audience?
I would like to do that first so that they can have their say, and council can spend the evening considering what they've had to say and give direction if necessary on what we're going to do.
Okay.
And Mayor Pro Tem, I have an agenda change. I would like to add under new business, item number 6. It would be a proposed resolution recognizing the members of the boards and commissions that serve without pay.
I'll support. Or do we need, it's just an agenda change?
Just an agenda change.
Yeah.
I don't believe we have to vote on the 3-minute rule, right, to waive that? I don't believe so. Okay, we'll move on here. Okay, then we'll do audience participation, retiree comments. We can start with those.
I think we start with them. That I would recommend that to let everybody have, I'd like them to introduce themselves so that you know the face that's speaking to you. I think the spouses are here and certainly a lot of retirees that I recognize in my last 14 years. And some of them are very familiar with some of the issues that we've dealt with in the last, even before I got here. So some folks I don't know or met tonight at the first time. So if we take them one by one and listen to them, and if they need more than 3 minutes for this purpose, let them talk.
We do ask folks, if you would like to participate, to please speak into the microphone if you need to adjust it in any which way. Thank you. Please approach the podium at your leisure then.
Good evening. I'm Bill Nicholas, 1732 Ashley Court, Commerce Township. And I was a police officer and sergeant for 23 years with Walled Lake. Retired under an agreement with the city to retire early. Myself and two other officers retired at the same time. One was Jerry Wilson, who's passed away now. The agreement that we retired under was one that provided for health care. And under the health care, it stated that we had a stipend payment be made by the city to the insurer on the behalf of the retiree or widow or widower from the date of retirement until the under the collective bargaining agreement or memorandum, which I retired under, until the date of retirement payments cease. And so all I come here today is just to ask you to continue with the health care payment. The payment was stopped on the 31st of March. I don't really know why, but it was. And we just asked that it be continued. I've been receiving it for 24 years, and I think that's quite a record of being able to establish that that payment was being made for that many years. And that's all I have for you today. There's others here that all retired from Walled Lake, either from the DPW or the police department or other departments. So, thank you very much.
Bill, while you're up there, I guess I met Bill maybe tonight for the first time.
Yes.
But if he's got an agreement, I intend to honor the agreement. I'm not familiar with that. It happened many years ago. What I want to be clear with is we put them on notice based on the expiration of the resolution, which included probably blanketed everybody in there. If indeed his contract says what he's got, and I've not looked at it, I've already agreed with Bill to meet with him as soon as he can. He says he's got some paperwork for me tonight, but and tomorrow, this week, or whatever. And I intend to pay any of them out there who has a contract that says pay. I don't need a council vote to do that. If the council wants to pay somebody who doesn't have that language, then you got to revisit that again. But right now, the expiration of the resolution doesn't provide for payment for somebody. But I've already reviewed a couple of people's contracts, and they are independent of the resolution that expired, and they do provide for payment. What Mr. Nicholas said is exactly as he said. Nicholas?
Nicholas, you're right.
I get it right?
Yes.
I'm old. You know, I'm older than you.
I don't know about that.
74 is not too bad, you know.
I'm right with you.
All right. So I intend to do that and honor the contract. We've never been in a position, this council didn't do it that way. That's not what occurred. Secondly, you haven't lost the payment yet. We put you on notice. I think you cashed the last check. I think you did.
Yet.
And if this is as quick as as simple as you think it is, your next check won't even be missing. We'll make the direct deposits and get back on track. We did modify how it was done to get everybody's attention. We sent a hard copy check and a letter that's saying that the resolution was terminated.
And I did get that.
Well, that's why you're here.
That's
And
exactly right.
But if indeed it's like, as you said, with everybody else, we will have that fixed as soon as possible.
Can I,
You won't miss a check.
I'd like to ask this question. A resolution, do we have to go through this like every year, every 2 years of a resolution?
Not after this fix, we will recognize that the resolution was created. I can't go into the history of that because I don't know exactly,
Yeah, I
don't
don't know
recall.
either, and it
But there was a resolution that said they had to renew it year to year. And so this council didn't present, well, the mayor might be familiar, she'll be able to help us out in terms of memory, but the resolution expired. And if it's not renewed, then we were paying based on that, not based on your contract. Well, that was a mistake historically. We should have continued on and honored that, but people changed.
Yes, there's nothing in the contract that says anything about a resolution. It has to be approved for me to get my health.
I don't disagree with
Okay.
that. I don't disagree with
So-
that. There are other people who think that resolution gives them lifetime payment and somehow they breathe life into it. And so those are different issues. If it's as you say, you won't miss a check. You will not miss a check.
It is as I say.
Then I hope it is. And I expect it is. I do. Because I reviewed 3 and it looked like those 3 are dead on. And Mr. Snyder's here, Officer Snyder is in the back. He came in early. His file is right on my desk. I expected to call him in to meet, but he came here. So that would get solved. The very first woman, all of you people know Joyce Golden probably. I met her after I came here. She retired in 2004, and hers is crystal clear. and she didn't have a union contract. She had an independent employment contract, but it's still crystal clear. So we intend to fix that administratively. But the resolution, I think you're right, the resolution doesn't apply, but we didn't know that, and I apologize for not being astute enough to catch that, but I didn't.
Okay,
No, and we're going to
we'll
fix it.
take you at your word.
I'm going to meet with you as soon as you want, so give me a day to look at your file or anything you leave with me tonight, and a day or two, whatever, and but you won't miss a check. If you need more help, we'll do that, but we can meet. We may end up calling you or sending you an email and say you're good. But you haven't missed a check yet. That's the point. Nobody has yet. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Afternoon. John Winchowski, 4844 Cooley Court, Commerce, Michigan. I retired as a captain of Wall Lake Police Department 19 years ago, and my contract said the city would pay up to $800 a month for my health care. And of course, my health care years ago went over $800, and it's natural, so I had to make up the difference. And all of a sudden I get the letter. By the way, I didn't get a letter from the city. I didn't get a certified letter, and I didn't get an email. So I had to call up here and say, where's my deposit? Because BSR, is that what sends us an email? Somebody sends us an email, says someone's depositing your account. And I never got that. So I had to call up here and say, what's going on? Of course, I talked to a young girl, she doesn't know much. And well, I go, what does the letter say? What does the email say? And she tells me about discontinuing all the health benefits. Well, I wouldn't have retired if I didn't have health benefits. That was part of our contract. We gave something up for that health benefit. I can't remember what it was. I'm not gonna make nothing up, but it was like 25 years ago. I don't know if we gave up a pay raise, longevity, but we gave something up in our contract to get health benefits. And all of a sudden get a letter from the city saying our health benefits can be discontinued. And I did not get my check on time, Dennis. I'm sorry. After
Didn't
my
get a
numerous,
check?
after my numerous phone calls up here, 3 weeks after my phone call, I finally got a certified letter with the check in it. But it was not in a timely fashion. We have a list from the city that says your deposits will be, it's a yearly, I'm sorry?
Certain days.
Yeah, certain dates, all through the entire year. I didn't get my deposit. So 3 weeks after I don't get my deposit, I have to start making phone calls up here and actually get nowhere. I left a message to have a meeting with you, Dennis. I haven't heard nothing. Zero. And like I said, I wouldn't have retired if I didn't know I had health benefits. So that's just not fair. We gave something up. I don't remember what it was, longevity, 2% pay raise, something. And our final FAC would have been different if we didn't give up that pay raise, if that's what it was. I'm not sure though. And if you're having problems with an ex-employee, it shouldn't involve all these people to be concerned about their health benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Wachowski. Anybody else? Wayne, you want to say hello? Sure. Wayne, we got two of our DPW. I work with both of these fellows, left, and they worked with, when did you leave, Wayne? You left in
11 years
12?
ago, 13 probably.
12 years? I've been here 14.
Yeah,
We
you
worked
were
together
fairly
a couple
new,
years.
yeah.
DPW, we're going to take a look at all of those, just like we're going to look at the captains. You know, we did send letters. I can't argue with him about whether he received it or not, but we did send it, went to the post office back and forth. So I believe he did get the check. If he didn't, we'll fix that. And if it says, he says, we'll look at his special, he had a special departure, he had a special arrangement, and they're independent, so we got to take a look at all of those. These guys are straight up union stuff, so they're going to be the easiest one to deal with. And if they're entitled, and it looks like they might be, we're going to have that solved pretty quickly.
I believe it's going to be myself, Joe, and Ed.
Who else is here? You and Joe? Just you
was
and Joe?
DPW, yeah.
I worked with Joe and Wayne for a couple of years here. So it looks like they're going to be okay too. Independent of the resolution, I do agree with Captain Wachowski that what some other employee or ex-employee is doing should have no bearing on what your benefits are, and we will fix whatever's broken.
Yeah, we just received the letter and it was like, it was pretty blunt. It was like, oh, it's over. What's this about? No warning, nothing, I was like, okay.
That was the warning, Wayne.
Yeah, okay, all right, all right.
And that's why you're here. So it worked. We're going to fix it. I can't undo what the past was. I can't undo greedy former employees. You're entitled to it. You're going to get it.
Okay,
And I don't think the council up here is going, or the mayor is going to say anything different. And I'm willing to meet with you tonight if you want to, but it'll be wise for me to look at everybody's file, and I'll be doing it one by one by one, and we'll solve the problem.
Okay.
And the resolution that was discontinued won't matter.
right. I'll wait for a phone call or an email or a letter.
We'll
or
get all of that. We have a lady over there who'll be working on that for probably starting tomorrow until the weekend, if that's what it takes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Wayne. Thank you. Joe, you want to say anything?
Wayne.
That's good, thanks. Those are the only two guys I really know, so I.
Good job, Joe.
Mayor Pro Tem Woods, we do have a hand raised through Zoom. Do you mind if I call upon them?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Phone number ending in 6189. Could you please identify yourself? Star 6 to unmute. Uh, 6189, you are now unmuted.
Okay. My name is Edgar Hammond. I live at 687 Miller Road in Plainwell, Michigan. I worked for the Waldeck DPW for over 23 years, retiring at my full retirement age in October 2007. I have not worked for anyone since then, nor have I received a paycheck or health care benefits from anyone. I had a lot more to say, but I've been watching what you said to Wayne and to Joe and to Bill Nicholas, and I just want to get some be reaffirmed that you are going to be taking care of this for us, specifically our DPW people. And what steps should I take? I'm in Plainwell, which is north of Kalamazoo, but I have documentation, and I need to know where I should go from here.
We've received his email with his contract attached, Mr. Hammond from DPW.
Yeah.
So I believe the city manager is addressing it by the end of this week.
We are beginning to address it right now, and so I will look at all of these files over the weekend, even if it takes the weekend, and we'll see what we can get done by Monday. It'll take a minute to read all the files. It shouldn't be too difficult. Some of them are looking the same. I'm not familiar with everybody's contract. They are not all the same. Even though a lot of people overlapped and worked, they worked in different unions, they worked in different departments, and some people had separation agreements for whatever reasons. And they do not all match. But it looks like most people who are here, if not all, everybody here is going to be entitled, including Mr. Hammond, but we're going to know that by next week.
Okay, well, I appreciate your attention to detail on that. I thank you for giving me this time to express myself.
We will give attention to your contract and everybody else's. Again, we started before this meeting. We started with a few people who had actually come in, and it looks like we're resolving some of the issues pretty quickly. So I apologize.
That sounds great. Your apology is accepted. I'll look forward to hearing further information.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hammond.
Thank you, Mr. Hammond.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak?
My name's Terry Croft. I've worked here 20 years roughly. I negotiated that clause into the contract. I worked hard on it. We worked close to a year, I think, Bill, didn't to get that in there. I was the fire marshal. I worked up the fire marshal. I even bought, I think around 4 months of time to leave. I don't know what's going on, but I'm really upset about it. And I'd like to see it get it straightened out. I know there's some people that their spouses have passed, and I'm sure that they are hurting for it. So please take care of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, it doesn't look like there are any audience participation online at this time.
Okay. All right, thank you very much for coming up here and speaking. Appreciate it. And please get with the city manager.
We will, my intent is to solve this administratively. If they have the contracts as we talked, and I believe they do, it'll all be resolved. It will not take a vote of council to fix anything. If we get to the stage where there's an issue and the council, I'll report to them, and then the council can take additional action if they need to. The resolution is not necessary if the contracts are as they appear to be. And we will resolve that and begin, well, we'll make sure that nobody misses a payment. We've paid everybody. Some people didn't get the check or they didn't go to the post office to pick it up, but ultimately they got it. We've not denied anybody a check. We did put them on notice. It's kind of like, when did we first hear about, that's when you did. When the resolution expired, then it was our job to put them on notice, and I think they did that. Maybe it wasn't so artfully written. Maybe we take a look at how we do that the next time, but hopefully there's no next time. I will resolve all these issues without council approval if possible. You don't need to vote on that. No.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And thanks again for
Can the mayor hear this? I think it's important that mayor's been around and she's friends with a lot of these folks and known them for years. So.
Yes, I can hear. I don't know if you could hear me any, but I can hear, and I agree.
We can hear you, Madam Mayor.
You're back. I can hear you now.
Well, I think I figured out the problem. I have one bad hearing aid, so I'm flying with one hearing aid tonight. I shut it down, the other one down. So I think I figured it out.
Well, I think your mayor pro tem's doing a great job, so you need to let him run the meeting here, you know.
But I do agree with them, the ones that went out on the contract. I always felt that the resolution was for employees that left the city without a contract that gave them retirement. Or not retirement, but healthcare benefits. And it was kind of a year-to-year thing that they got them. So I think there has been some confusion here, and I apologize to everybody that did retire out with benefits in their contracts, and I have full faith that you'll get it straightened out.
We'll get it fixed, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next one would be.
So since you can hear me, are you going to continue? Ryan, do you want to do that?
It's up to you, Mayor.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I can keep going if you want to. That's fine.
Ryan, it's practice.
What's that?
I think he's doing a good job, Mayor. Let him continue. He's doing a great job.
I'm fine with that. Hey, I'm just sitting back here relaxing.
First time for everything.
Okay, thank you. We're going to continue with general audience participation.
Well, we did have folks that were in the audience that chose to speak. For those that are online, if there are any further, you can press *9 and that'll activate the hand raise feature for us to acknowledge you, and then pressing *6 will unmute you. If there are any other audience members physically here that would like to speak, now is the time to do so, please, and approach the podium. There are no further audience participation members, Mayor Pro Tem. Would you like to continue?
Okay, thank you. We'll continue on with the approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Ambrose was second.
I'll agree.
Aye.
Aye. Support. Any opposed? Yes. Any correspondence?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, and it's part of your packet on page 16. Are you going to address this, Ms. Jackways?
Over the weekend, the Game and Company held their grand opening over the weekend. Folks that were in attendance, Mayor Pro Tem Woods, Councilmember Ambrose, Minnie Fernandez. So we're excited to see this development, this business enter our business district, and we're hoping for their continued success. They did correspond with city manager and I, thanking us and those who were in attendance to come out and support their business. So that's just for your reference to receive and file this evening.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to the resolution, right, for the Game and Company Day. Would the mayor like to speak on that, or do you want to continue on just to?
I can speak on that. So under Mayor's direction, we have drafted a proposed resolution for council's consideration, declaring Game and Company Day as April 6th, corresponding with their opening day celebration. So just so we can honor and hope they have a good business season and welcoming them into our downtown district. So thank you, Linda, for your dedication to supporting our businesses and recognizing this new establishment.
All right, thank you. Can we get a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Ambrose will second.
And that resolution was to recognize the Game and Company's business and Mayor Ackley's declaration of Game and Company Day on April 6, 2024. Roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Fernandez?
Yes.
Locke?
Yes.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you. And that would be Resolution 2024-08 as we're moving forward, folks.
I'm sorry, what was it?
That was Resolution 2024-08.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, apologize, I grouped that together, so we'll go back to the council reports. Does any council member have a report on a board or commission?
Parks and Rec, sorry.
Go ahead.
Parks and Rec met, and we will be talking about some of their events later on, but we have the Memorial Day Parade coming up. Always a good time. And the applications are on the website if for anybody who would like to participate in the parade, and we encourage everybody to come out. And then say kudos to the Parks and Rec group and the city council, city staff for putting on a great Sprague egg hunt. So that was great. And Market Days starting up here May 1st. Is opening day of our Walled Lake Market. So everybody come on out. It's going to be a great time. And we're going to have special days throughout the year with extra musicians or bands and goats and all those kind of things. So it'll be a great time. So
We had
check
an Easter bunny.
Did we have an Easter bunny?
We did. The Easter bunny was a good draw.
Always.
Always.
I think one of the kids said Sir Hops a lot.
It was a well-attended event.
It
We
was.
had,
It
we
was
had,
And the weather was
we had face painting.
rough.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Miss Loretta Whitt with her team.
Great job.
For the second year in a row, did face painting. The line was pretty long, almost as, well, maybe at some point, the longest line there. The pony rides were very popular. And whether some people might have missed it, but we did have a magician there, but he was so far in the back. So the suggestion was at a rec meeting that maybe we move them up closer, but we did that because of the electrical issues back there. So I guess to light it up, but there was a magician in the back. I was this close. That's, for those people who can't see, it's like a half an inch to canceling the meeting, and there was a whole lot of ladies there that says, "You're not going to do that." I actually got out of my car and was told not to do that. So anybody who think they're taking credit for that, the one who told me I wasn't canceling it was Loretta Whitt. I've invested.
You would have one upset bunny
Dad,
on
you're not canceling my performance. So she had a great time. They love the Easter Bunny. That's forever. It was raining, and I don't know, we got a little bit of benefit, so we got out of there. So thanks a lot to the Easter Bunny.
It worked out pretty well. I like how this year it was spread out a little bit more instead of so congested,
Up front.
so close to the parking lot. It utilized more of the park. It was very nice.
It was well executed.
Yep, absolutely.
Administration, DPW, police, fire, everyone was there.
I will say I only had a vision from 10 to 2, but everything I could see, it was amazing from start to end. I mean, great event. Very, very good event.
They charge $50 for a session at the mall to be with the Easter Bunny. That's why the Easter Bunny is so popular. They come over there and they're getting the pictures and stuff like that, but it was literally $50 to go to get your picture with the Easter Bunny, and people are paying it.
No, ours is
Down at the
better.
mall.
Our buddy's better.
Ours is
Huh?
better.
How
He's
do you
very
know that?
charismatic.
How do I know that? I got my picture taken with the Easter Bunny at the mall.
It was the best $50 Dennis Woods ever spent.
Okay, any further comments? Council comments?
Just library board meets this Friday, and we will be, I'm sure we'll be discussing and working towards the ballot proposal in August. And we have work to do, and that will be to continue the millage that is currently existing.
Thank you.
And Planning Commission met, and we approved a flower display at the bowling alley. We gave them both special land use and a site plan approval for that. So they will be holding flower shows just like they do over at Penny Lake. So they'll be having that.
Tent is up, bright red cover. So if you go by, you're going to see the tent. I didn't see the flowers, I just saw the tent, but I expect that to happen over the weekend or as soon as they get them going. Tent is up.
Exciting.
Buy local.
Okay, moving on, city managers report.
Okay, let's start, Mayor Pro Tem, with having the council move to receive and file the consent agenda.
Also make a move, receive and
Lublin
file.
supports.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Locke,
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Excuse me, Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, the second item under my report is the Downtown Development Authority activity report. I think the agenda itself will speak to that. You have a resolution that amends the current year budget of the DDA, which ultimately has to be approved by the city council. It shows several items on there, and we can talk about it now, or we can talk about it when we get to that resolution. The resolution approves the payment for the flock cameras, our security, improving our police service to the community. It came to city council before. City council was in support and recommended we try to get funded through the DDA. They did exactly that. They funded it, and they were wise enough to see the benefit and the opportunity. The second thing they did is they approved the 3D seals to begin to upgrade our gateway signs to make them look more professional, so they approved that. And the biggest item on the agenda was they were able to recognize, the majority of the DDA recognized the opportunity to get on board with the county's resurfacing of Ladd Road from Enterprise, the Enterprise all the way around up to McCoy, all the way around to the other road. It's a gateway to Wall Lake from that end, but it actually goes into Wolverine Lake, and then it goes on over to the other roadway. If we didn't do something, we would have gravel road meeting up with a brand-new paved road. So the Public Works Superintendent became aware that the county had issued the bid. The contractors were working. He brought it back to me. I said, get a price. He got a price of 170. 168. Almost 170. And we took it to the DDA and asked them to fund it. They recognized that the Ladd Road is part of the DDA. It's the worst road. It is currently the worst road in the DDA district. It's also the worst road in Wall Lake. That's going to gravel. It's a road that is one of our gateways. It is a road that is a gateway to the Wall Lake Consolidated School District main offices. It's a gateway to downtown. It's the access road to Wall Lake Elementary. The majority of the DDA understood that, and they moved on that opportunity. They took it, they voted, and we had a unanimous vote of the DDA. And so they've helped the city as a whole by moving forward, and I think it's a wise woman put on the net that we have the hardest working DDA in the county, maybe the state. So that's about it. We did meet with some of the people downtown to get the fireworks issues kicked up a notch, so we'll be reporting back at the next meeting on that. It's going to be bigger than last year, hopefully a little better, and that's what we're doing. But the parade, this is what we're waiting for. So I wanted to announce that at a council meeting. We're going to have Fox News coverage again because Marielle Lou has agreed to be our leader of our parade again, one more time.
Grand Marshal.
She is the grandest marshals. She is going to bring us the kind of notoriety that we get. She's proud of it. She's our resident, and so she's agreed one more time. And the only thing we need now is a good convertible Jeep to lead the parade. Oh, I'm sorry, Bronco. I can't help it.
That is so funny.
So we're looking to rent the, we're going to see if LaFontaine can keep any convertible vehicles on their lot without being stolen, and maybe we can rent one to the parade. But that's about it. I've got, Chief, we got anything we need to tell them on the bad guys? Huh? Well, I'm going to tell them something, because I know something, but I don't want you to get blamed for leaking information. So, as you know, we have one of our officers assigned to the federal task force. That's the feds. They made an arrest. The arrest was following the heels of 3 deaths in the area from, I guess, bad drugs. From that, they pursued the seller, got the arrest, got the warrants, and then made the arrest. So they're looking at some serious time. I was hoping we would have public information on who those people are. I'm talking about the bad guys. They confiscated about $50,000, which is one of those things that gets divvied up and comes back in forfeiture funds to the various agencies that participated. And that's about it I can give you on that until we get, when we get that information, but the bad guys are still out there. They're still selling hard drugs, and they're still killing people. Our guys, I say guys, could be gals, but we do participate in that in a big way, and they helped make the arrest. They supported that with the federal task force. That's about it for now. Okay, that's all I've got.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, did I forget? Before we were talking about police, we were talking about,
We're talking about the parade.
forget it. I'll think about it, sorry.
It'll come back.
It'll come back.
Can we get an update on the crash down here that killed the little girl on Maple and Tucker?
Chief, can we give an update on the trial, the murder trial that's going?
Yeah, there's a couple things. So the first thing you're asking about is the fatal crash. That officer tried stopping a car and ended up killing a 12-year-old girl. Our officer was some ways behind, was not involved in the crash, but obviously it's going to follow him for a long time. The passenger in the car was scheduled to go to trial last Monday. And as our officer was getting ready to testify, found out that he had accepted a no contest plea for that and will be going to prison. So we're
And
still
you're
waiting.
sure he was the passenger?
Absolutely. Yep. Live streaming the event. So the other one is the homicide that occurred in on December 30th of 2020. It did finally go to trial the end of last year. We went through 4 assistant prosecutors on that case, and unfortunately there were some mistakes made on the prosecution's part. No fault of our detectives. He was on it all the way. Unfortunately, as the case gets moved from prosecutor to prosecutor, some things got missed by the prosecutor's office that caused a mistrial to be declared. So that is scheduled to go to trial the end of this week. So we're 4 years out, and hoping that this time that was on Dover Hill, the roommate situation, and so we're hoping this time we'll finally get a guilty verdict.
Thanks, Chief. That's it.
I remember.
Remember?
So for our Memorial Day activity in the front, do we have a new sound system? Remember, some of the times the sound.
We're
system-
working on it. How close are we to having it arrive?
So I just want to make sure that
We do.
We do, it's ordered, they're getting it together as we speak, hopefully deliver it mid-next week.
Right.
They'll bring it out and run through it with us, so we're all up to speed on how to operate it.
Perfect.
Yeah, the sound system will be in it, and if you see the Marine Corps silent drill team walking around outside and next door over on the, then you'll know that the fire and police are drilling the honor guard. We are going to provide an honor guard ceremony. Nowadays, it's hard to get those old veterans to participate, and some of them they sit it out, you know. So we've got a drill team going. You see them marching out there. I don't know if you've seen that, but they're getting close to. They're not exactly drill team yet, but they're getting there because the chief, all the chiefs, the 3 chiefs are drilling them every day. So you see a mix. And we got, anybody know what an M1 rifle is? Did they arrive yet? So M1 rifle is a rifle that they used in a real war, but they're perfect for drill. You've seen all that bouncing around and moving and all of that. When I was in the Marine Corps, I trained with an M14 and then later got out of boot camp and they give me an M16. Can't drill with those.
M1?
M1 is the very one that they drill.
World War II?
Yes, yes, that's exactly what it is. But they're the perfect drill weapon, and they're the ones that do the 21 gun salute or 7 military people with 3 shots. So I'm not sure we're going to shoot a lot, but we're going to give it a shot. So you're going to see our drill team for the first time. You're going to see shiny new patches on the honor guard. So we're looking for a few little different things this time around. And hopefully that sound system is here so we can introduce it all the right way. That's where we are. Thanks for bringing that up. I had forgot to mention that.
It's an outstanding memorial.
Yeah, a data honor, you guys certainly step it up.
I'm sorry?
I go, a data honor, you guys certainly step it up. Appreciate it.
I just was in, I didn't do much. But I'm proud of that time that I spent, you know?
The team does well, yep.
Yeah, I'll push papers the whole time. That's what I did.
Okay.
Still important.
All right, moving on. Next up is attorney's report.
Moving forward on some pending litigation matters. We obtained some judgments recently on a couple of zoning violation cases involving some commercial properties that have been very complicated cases that have been sort of dragging on for many years. Some have been going on for decades in terms of trying to get enforcement and the level of compliance that that the city has been pursuing for a long time as it relates to the uses of those properties and the approvals that are needed and bringing those uses into compliance going forward so that they're not continuing to be used in a manner that that is detrimental to the city. Got a couple other challenging cases that are coming up soon that you may be hearing more about in the future, depending upon what direction it goes, involving a failing retaining wall over at Shoreline Condos. It could be a very complicated thing that, and we could need to get involved with some condemnation cases as well, depending on how that plays out. But that's it. Just knocking it out. And I don't normally report to you on those more routine cases, but these are some more difficult cases that have been problematic for the city for a while. So I wanted to bring them to your attention.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, nothing under unfinished business. So next up would be new business. That would be proposed resolution 2024-09, correct?
Mm-hmm.
For portable restrooms, and this would be for the city parks and our events. Can we get a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Fernandez, second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Fernandez?
Yes.
Locke?
Yes.
Ackland?
Yes.
Thank you.
That being 2024-09?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Next for discussion is proposed resolution 2024-10 for Walled Lake Police and Fire Dispatch Service Agreement. Can we get a little discussion on that?
Let's, Chief, come up and give him a quick one. It's the same as we've always done, except the increase. Essentially the same thing, but he's going to tell you why our increase is acceptable because other people got really popped. Tell the council about that 40% increase?
45%. So we've been utilizing Oakland County Sheriff Department for dispatch services since September of 2009. Prior to that, we had our own dispatch, just not cost effective, and that has not changed. So we received the latest, I believe they're all 4-year, 3 or 4 year, I can't remember, they're 3 or 4 year agreements with dispatch, and noticed a large increase. Ours is about 15% for the first year, which we thought was pretty outlandish at first, then 5% the second year and 5% the third year. Started talking to my counterparts. Wolverine Lake saw a 45% increase.
The first year or
in the first year? 1 year. Milford also saw, I believe, a 45% increase. So there are some charges that the county is passing along to us that is new. There's a third-party fee that they use to analyze all their contracts, and that part of that was added that had been added in the past. So unfortunately, we saw the lesser of the evils as far as the increase. So is it fair to, can we talk about so as the manager and I talk, he thought it'd be a good idea because at some point we knew we'd be here before council. We actually met with the city of Novi. We met with their public safety director and his team. They have their own internal dispatch there in city of Novi. Obviously, that'd be a good fit for a lot of, for what we do, for our lodging, for dispatching. We border each other. Turns out that the union hurdles were too much to get over that, and that this is our best option. As painful as it is, we'd ask that council approve the dispatch agreement with the sheriff department. The sheriff department does provide excellent service. That's not a complaint. They're phenomenal. We don't have any issues there, but obviously we got to look at our costs all the time.
Just the only comment is the service, there's no doubt that this is best for us, but maybe we only received 15% because we were paying too much previous. I don't know that that's true or not. You know, I mean, maybe the other communities weren't paying their fair share, and that's why they were bumped 45%. So you can play, but it's best for Walled Lake to have a dispatch service with Oakland County, period.
So they build the police department on how many police officers we have, and they build it, the fire department, by how many calls for service they have. So unfortunately, we're a little shorter than we were the last time the contract renewed, so that saved us. Some of the other departments like Wolverine Lake have added people. They got rid of their part-time program and added full-timers, and unfortunately, they saw a pretty healthy increase because of that.
So okay. That's how they collect. calculated it. then.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So at this time, you're looking for a motion?
I am.
I'll make that motion, a resolution to approve the police and fire dispatch service agreement between Oakland County and the city of Walled Lake from April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2027, this being 2024-10.
I'll second that.
Thanks.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Osnick,
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next up would be proposed resolution 2024-11. This would be the adoption of the Oakland County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
You guys take a pick. Who wants to handle
Yeah.
that? You make the chief do all of them? What is that? You know?
So
He does have a couple hats on.
So this is not something new to the city council. So what we're fortunate of is Oakland County provides some services such as emergency management, things like the COVID. When that hit, Oakland County takes a role. They have the people, they have the infrastructure, they have the money to do some of these things. So the county oversees our emergency management for us. It's a 977-page report. If you're have an issue with insomnia, I'm sure it'll help out. But it's some pretty good stuff, and the county does a phenomenal job of doing that. It'd be very difficult for us to duplicate what they're doing. So what they ask us to do is to adopt their plan, and I believe it has to do with funding. So if anything happens, we're all under that umbrella, and they would qualify for federal funding. We all would.
Does that also affect the insurance rating within the city too, or play into that mechanism, or no?
I don't know that question. I answer that question. I don't. But obviously, we're fortunate enough to have Oakland County's resources. Some of the smaller counties in that do not have that. So we are fortunate to have their oversight with that. So we'd ask for your approval on the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Lublin supports.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is the proposed resolution 2024-12, amending and appropriating funds from the DDA fund balance. City manager, if we could just get a brief description. I know we talked about it.
I think I already, essentially, this, it does several things. It gives the council an opportunity to say no to the DDA. You don't want to do that. But it also amends the budget, for the auditing firms. They come in, they want to make sure there's all the authorities that exist. They're a component unit. The DDA is a component unit, so theoretically, you have to, as a council, have to finalize their budget. And so this would do all of those things. It also spells out what they're doing and what they recognize as important for the DDA to do. And I mentioned the three things: the flock cameras, the seals, begin to upgrade those. If you've looked at those, I hope everybody's got a chance to take a peek at the one down on.
Gorgeous.
They're really nice.
It's a kick up, and it really looks nice. And so we're still working on them. The superintendent we're getting to finalize and get the rest of them and see when they get rehabbed, if you will. And then, of course, Ladd Road. Ladd Road. Is there any chance where you can pull up a map, just a quick view, since we're talking about it, of the DDA district? I think sometimes folks don't understand what the DDA was created for, kind of get lost in it. I believe the red there would, let me see. There's your district. And again, I think the mayor was on board. Maybe some of you were around and paid attention. It was created to build a road. So the idea that somehow the DDA shouldn't participate in paving a road is mistaken. Look at if you're looking at it like I am, you look to your left, that far left road, that's Ladd Road. That's the DDA road. I think there was some discussion after the DDA meeting that wasn't in the district, or nobody travels on it, or it's not used. Well, few people traveled on it because it was going to gravel and didn't want to drive on it, and so they did take other routes. But as I said earlier, it provides access to our Wall Lake School and the church. If you mentioned the church, the Wall Lake Consolidated School District, that's an access. If you also are familiar with your city, right around the corner from Ladd Road and Maple is the school itself, the elementary school. So people now can go up that road without ripping up the bottom of their vehicle. So it's very appropriate to do that. The DDA as a majority recognized that opportunity, and we weren't able to put together a deal with any contractors, but the county moved ahead on it anyway, and it was the appropriate time to do it. We brought it to the city's DDA, as soon as we had an opportunity to bring it to them, and I appreciate the support of Councilmember Lublin, who sits, and the mayor, and they both pushed it forward. And I think as soon as they start working this summer, we're going to get Ladd Road done. All the way from Enterprise, which is really about by the trail itself, all the way down to...
Which is our boundary there.
Right.
Yeah, from there, well, the county, they only bid it out to do their portion. It's our job. I mean, it just works out that way. That portion of the road, you would think the whole road would belong to one jurisdiction. That's not how it works. So that's our responsibility. It's also the DDA's responsibility. You know, whether I brought it to them or not, it was their responsibility to identify. And that road has been identified as going to gravel for a whole lot of years. Help me out, Dan, as long as you remember, how long has it been? We kept putting it down, putting it back, putting it down. So again, it came up, we got it. The DDA has enough funding this year, and in beginning July 1st, the funding sources start coming in and they'll be refurbished. So they did the right thing, they made the right call. And we're pretty pleased that we got to support the majority, so.
With that being said, I propose a resolution amending and appropriating funds from the Downtown Development Authority fund balance for fiscal year 2023-2024 to address gateway improvements and public safety capital purchases for equipment. Resolution 2024-12.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Yes, and thanks, Dan, for staying on top of that. Appreciate that.
No more cold patch.
Okay, number 5, proposed resolution 2024-13, directing the city manager and the city attorney to draft zoning ordinance for 615 North Pontiac Trail.
I could touch it for you. This actually came from the council itself discussing whether or not we should move ahead with rezoning the property or whether or not we could. My theory is you can have that discussion and you can have it tonight. If this passes, you're going to see the city attorney and I'll sit down and decide what the zoning might be. You probably end up sending it over to planning and zoning and seeing what that might be. You'll be getting pushback from people who don't want to change the zoning at all. What the legal effect of changing the zoning of a school property that's not being used for school stuff. I think it's arguable that we should be doing what the council wants to do because the consolidated school district hasn't moved forward. May or may not be their fault. That's all subject to debate. But it's been sitting vacant. Does anybody remember when was it tore down?
2018.
The building came down in 2018, and if you recall, the board, the city council filed a lawsuit, the lawyer filed a lawsuit trying to acquire it in some partnership and develop it and put it to work and not only keep the historic value of the building itself, but the prior administration of the district and the prior leadership on the board, they refused to do anything like that and told us they had more bigger fish to fry. As I recall, we have 9 jurisdictions we have to deal with. Yeah, but your building is in our jurisdiction. Anyway, it's set vacant for that many years. Time for the council to move on it. Don't know the legal effect. The lawyer's going to tell us about that. Maybe at the next meeting, but I think we take instructions from you from this resolution. And
Redevelopment can create revenue, period.
You can zone it light industrial if you want. I'm not sure. Then, but the point is you get to do that, but you gotta give the lawyer the instruction on where we go. What are we doing here? Don't give it to the planner. He'll plan it to death, but give it to the lawyer. What can we legally do,
That's the question.
Well, in terms of zoning, the council has broad discretion in deciding how you would like that property to be zoned going forward in the future. If the property owner chose to fight that for any reason, then certainly they could. That's always an option that the property owner has, is to bring a legal challenge to any zoning changes to their property. I don't know that would happen in this particular case. I believe the property is currently zoned community service, CS community service, which is a zoning district that's really sort of particular to like schools or municipal property, parks, things of that nature, things that are more government owned. The idea is to put it into the private sector and have it developed privately. So you're looking at, some type of a commercial zoning or, industrial. I don't know if that's an appropriate place for industrial.
I was
Probably
joking,
not,
Counselor.
But, probably, you're probably looking at some type of a commercial or multiple family or some type of a residential development in that area. So you've got a lot of discretion, determining on which direction you ultimately want to go and feel is best for that property going forward.
Well, that being said, I'll make a resolution directing the city manager and the city attorney to collaborate in drafting a zoning ordinance for 615 North Pontiac Trail, this being resolution 2024-13.
Ambrose will second.
Roll call, please.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Ackley. I think we are having a little technical difficulty at the moment.
This is iPad 3. Is that
We're
is that the
trying
mayor?
to, yes.
Madam Mayor?
That's part of her.
We are trying to get that rolling.
Okay, with that, we should move on to number 6 then.
Very good.
Okay, next one is the added proposal. This would be the proposed resolution recognizing the board and commissions for Walled Lake without pay.
Correct. Do you have a resolution for
I
us?
do,
handout?
Councilmember Osnick.
Oops, careful.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
2024-14.
Thank you.
This is a great idea.
That is, can we have someone read it in?
Yeah, we got. John, you wrote it. Read it in.
Okay. All right. Resolution to recognize and honor the contribution of city board members, resolution 2024-14. At a regular meeting of the City Council, City of Wall Lake, Oakland County, Michigan, held in council chambers at 1499 East-West Maple Road, Wall Lake, Michigan, 48390, on the 16th day of April 2024 at 7:30 p.m. Whereas the City of Wall Lake is committed to fostering civil engagement and community development through the dedicated service of its city board members, and whereas the city component units, including Downtown Development Authority and the Wall Lake Library, play a vital role in promoting economic prosperity within our community and enhancing the quality of life for residents, and whereas the Planning Commission, Parks and Recreation Commission, Downtown Development Authority, Wall Lake Library Board, and Zoning Board of Appeals exemplify the spirit of public service by generously donating their time, expertise, and energy to support the city's goals and initiatives. And whereas the leadership provided by Chairman Stephen Blair of the Downtown Development Authority, Chairman Neil Wolfson of the Planning Commission, Chairman Dennis O'Rourke of the Parks and Recreation Commission, President Barbara Garbutt of the Wall Lake Library Board, and Chairman Jason Easter of the Zoning Board of Appeals have been instrumental in guiding the respective units towards achieving their objectives. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and the Council of the City of Wall Lake, County of Oakland, State of Michigan, that Section 1, the City Council thereby extends its sincere appreciation and gratitude to all city board members for their unwavering dedication and invaluable contributions to the benefit of our community. Section 2, the City Council recognizes the outstanding leadership demonstrated by Chairman Stephen Blair of the Downtown Development Authority, Chairman Neil Wolfson of the Planning Commission, Chairman Dennis O'Rourke of the Parks and Recreation Commission, President Barbara Garbutt of the Wall Lake Library Board, and Chairman Jason Easter of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Section 3, the City Council instructs city administration to organize an appreciation dinner to honor and celebrate the efforts of all city board members for their exceptional service. Section 4, the city clerk is hereby directed to transmit a copy of this resolution to each city board member, as well as to the administrative heads of the Downtown Development Authority and the Wall Lake Library. This concludes.
Wow.
The measure. Didn't know I could read, did you?
Thank you. I'll support that. Absolutely.
We have a motion, we have a support. Roll call, please.
Let's see. Locke?
Yes.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Fernandez?
Yes.
Ackley? We are still working on,
Maybe if you ask for iPad 3's vote.
I believe,
We're requesting to unmute iPad 3.
yes, there's not acknowledgement of that yet.
No response at this time.
Okay, we'll move on to the next item, which would be council comments. We'll start from the left. Councilwoman Locke?
I have no further comments than what we discussed earlier about the egg hunt, and our staff is wonderful. I can't express how thankful I am for all the work that you do. But that's it.
Councilman Osnick?
What can I say? Everybody here works. Everybody on the council works. Everybody on the Parks and Rec and Zoning Board of Appeals, they all participate. We all participate. Our pays is very minimal. We basically work for nothing. So, but it's for the betterment of this community. So, that being said, over to you.
Councilman Ambrose?
I mean, I can't echo much more than what my fellow council members have been saying. It's an exciting time for Walled Lake, especially with the lakes getting ready, the weather breaking. We just keep on chugging. We do a great job from administration to our boards, everybody that involved in that. We can't thank them enough for everything that you guys do. So thank you.
Councilman Lubin?
2 items. One, the DDA resolution to fund, and then we approving that resolution. Those are save funds, so we save the money before we spent the money, which is always what, I think this goal has been for this council for many years now. And then also, I commend the resolution to honor our city board members with a dinner, because they aren't paid and they do give. I think that was wonderful. And we thank them, and then, of course, always our staff. We're a good team. Thank you.
Councilwoman Fernandez?
Thank you. Couple things. Thank you for everybody for all the work that you do to make our city better every day. It is getting better every day, and it's already great, so we're excited. Just to let everybody know, April 27th is Drug Take Back Day. We do have a box at the police station. There'll be people here from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., correct? Please get those drugs out of your home and potentially off the streets, so please get those back. And May 7th, there is an election for the school bond. If you have any questions, go to their website and find out they're having regular meetings on what's going on. And this is a renewal, but make sure you're well educated on where that money's going, and so you make an educated decision on May 7th. But come out and vote on May 7th. It's important.
Thank you. I'll continue on. I agree with all the council's support and the accolades, especially to the staff. The egg hunt went great. It was a little wet, but it was outstanding, well attended. Pay attention to the detail that's happening, right? Roads are getting fixed, underground, above ground lights. Appreciate the work getting Ladd Road going there, all the commissions and boards, but that's turning into fruition here, right? So Burger King is back, right? And they've already cut the grass with the new ownership. So that's great to see. Gus's Carryout, I stopped in there and picked up a bunch for a birthday party. Gaming Company is here. There's a lot of activity. We stopped at your St. Patrick's party, during a month ago. That was great. But in reality, right, take a look around. There's a lot that's happening. Things are growing. So all the hard work that was put in, stuff is coming to fruition here, right? And it's going into private sectors. So that's good to see. Okay, does the mayor back on?
We can request iPad 3 again to unmute.
She probably doesn't know how to unmute.
Well, and we did
Yeah.
did ask
No
her to turn
response
it
at this
down.
Okay.
There's no response.
Okay. With that, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.